There's no real question about whether it exists or not. It's just what do you want to do about it. Yeah, I'm out with my daughter for a quick walk. Let's take a look at the sky. See what our sky looks like today. The latest on the chemtrails is that I was kind of curious of what we can do. One big thing is relocating to minimize the impact, but also, short of being able to make some type of change, the best you can do is relocate to a place where it's less likely to be impacted by it. I was thought maybe, move out to the coast where the wind's off the ocean. Not that you could prevent it or anything, but it would minimize it. This guy texted me or emailed me and said that he moved down to southern Oregon and out on the coast, and that was exactly the idea. As the wind comes in, the prevailing winds come in off the ocean and keep the air as clean as possible off the ocean. So ideally, the best choice, short of resolving the chemtrail proliferation or the production or the administering of chemtrails, short of curing that, the best thing to do would be to relocate to an area that's less impacted by it. I figured farther away from the metropolitan area, in a rural area, or possibly closer to the coast where the prevailing winds are. I got an email from a guy that says he moved to southern Oregon out by the coast, and that's kind of ideal, somewhere along the Pacific coast where the majority of the winds come from off the ocean. That's going to be your best choice for the cleanest air. That's putting aside the fact that the whole earth and the air is universal, and so it's going to come around at some point anyway. But there's rains and stuff on the coast of the Pacific that can help clean. Anyway, the latest is, short of trying to fix or stop everything, you just relocate. Short of trying to stop the stratogenic aerosol, just relocate. It's the latest option. I gotta go clean up and shave up. It's Sunday morning pretty early. I gotta go shower and shave. Yeah, you can see the distinct formation, the linear formation, and then the disbursement of it you can see over here. The disbursement, it's a pattern, it's a set pattern that you see everywhere. There's no real question about whether it exists or not. It's just what do you want to do about it. For me, I think it's the best you can do is just be forthright, forefront about the fact that you're aware that they exist, and then just relocate or trying to test your environment and then go from there. If your environment isn't totally completely polluted, then you would relocate. Just like in any case, if you're in a city and you're in an area where everything's polluted and you're in the factory, I mean, we're subject to change because new things come up all the time, new awareness, so if you find out that a part of your town is contaminated or your water system is contaminated, and you either clean it up or you find a different source. So this is all we're talking about. We know it exists. Can you either fix it, clean it, adjust it, and if not, it's best the thing to do is to relocate into a place where you can get cleaner air and better environment. Latest comments on chemtrails, geoengineering, stratogenic aerosol, the dumping or the spraying of chemicals, and you know the reasons why, correct? There's a number of reasons why. Do you know those? Right off the top of my head would be treating the atmosphere in order to better radio frequency communications for the military and possibly for commercial communications. There's geoengineering, which is for affecting the weather under the surmise, under the auspices of, oh, we're trying to prevent global warming, we're going to dump a bunch of chemicals in here and we're taking care of you. That hasn't been really what they're saying. Mainly it's for the military to help their communications in the NATO and US allied areas. They're even doing it in the Philippines and then Argentina, and they're allied, but I mean outlying areas. Yeah, just presenting a little education on how to identify a astrogenic aerosol. You can see the fine little lines coming out of it. You can see the linear length of it, and then the disbursement lines coming down this way. You can see that on a regular basis. It's difficult sometimes if you're not experienced on how to read chemtrails, but after you study them for a while and you're around an area where they are prolific, you can understand how they look and their pattern a consistent pattern that develops. There's always an inconsistency because of the wind and the randomness of clouds and winds and patterns, and also the administration of it. But in general, you can determine a pattern and determine whether or not you are around in the areas that are being administered. Okay, so we're gonna go walking on the water. We're gonna go up walking. Okay.